Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master Ji Sifu and Tin Yat Dragon Taoism. Huliang Tenjun. Hi everyone! This is your Ji Sifu right here. Welcome back to the show. This is another episode of this Taoist Magic Taoism talk show lesson series. So yeah, what's the topic today? Okay, today we're going to continue talking about the new changes and updates and upgrades to our lineage. And one thing that I really want to mention is the language barrier. So in the past, we unify everything and everyone like chants in the same dialect and same method, and we usually use what we call the Samlonese. Okay, let me demonstrate a little bit. Okay. Samlonese inna donga renare sonna tonga niomine yora hyora tana nyonga kya. Okay, so that's Tamlonese, right? It doesn't sound like any Chinese out there. It doesn't sound like Cantonese, Mandarin. It's really unique. And, well, this is still here, okay? This is our official dialect that we use in the lineage. Now, however, we have learned that it is very hard for people to learn a new dialect when they first get ordained or initiate. So, yeah, it's like even if you're a Chinese, like if you are Hong Kongese, you speak Cantonese and you try to say Samlonese, it could be very confusing or hard to even make the sound for some people. So this update and upgrade allows everyone to use their native Chinese dialect if they want to, so that it will make it easier for them to actually learn the spells and magic first. And if they decided to advance and get better later, they can learn the Samlonese when they get to a higher stage. So it opens up some more opportunities for people when they're learning the spell. So if I chant the same spell that I just did with Cantonese, it sounds like this. No drag sound. So 三羅神龍天地玄宗靈魂玉血全靈虛空, like that, right? So it sounds very different. But anyway, and other thing on top of that, okay, for those who are not Chinese speakers, like English or other language speaking people, we now have English spell, right? You should know from before English spell. We talked about that, right? Okay, so yeah, English spell is so amazing. But what's even better is that it's not limited to English. You know what? I just chanted that spell in Chinese. How about I bring out the English version and you can hear how that sounds like. Okay, so the English version of that, this is the golden light spell. Okay. Some know how the golden light burns and burns, it always bright. Magic power the sky and the ground, through the rhythms and goes to me. From that all the heavens see, something above, blessings down, radiate over my crown. Ghosts will fear and evil's gone. Thunder comes and lightning strike. Cook my heart and make it strong. Brave and bold, some know in me. Some know how the God I see. Oh, devils, here I go. Crush you to dust and out I blow. You and more, here you go. Burn and rose out I throw. Some know how golden light sky. All is bright, big and bold. Give you and okay, I gave you the full spell. This is the spell. Okay, you can see the ending. We kept the gip gip yuruning, right? That is like the ending. Quickly execute as command. So English spell, they all have this like a little bit of Samnonese at the end, and then you'll see, here and there little words, like those important words you will hear in Samnonese, right? But the whole thing really went into English. It works the same as the Chinese. It has the same magical power. It works the same way. Now, what's even better is because this is not it, okay? This is not it. Our lineage is now like not limited to any language. So, if you, for example, you speak French, okay? Let's say you speak French. I don't know any French. Like, I know some French, okay? But not to the point that I can speak French. Okay, so if you speak French natively and you come in and learn, right? You look at the spell and you're like, oh, okay, that's the English. So if I translate it into French, it will be something like that. And then you do a little tweak and, make it sound rhyming and good. And then you let me know. Is this like good? I sing it one time like that, and then we all agree this is like pretty makes sense. So good, let's use it. We will then input the whole thing into the system, and the God will help us to make that part of the system. You will not find a Taoism sect on earth like that. Yes, no one will allow you to do that, because you know what? First of all, it is hard, because most people think that if you need to make it into another language, you just translate the word. But it's not. Okay, that is like, even you translate the word, if the spell is not agreed and accepted by the God, your spell is a fake spell. So you cannot just take a spell in Chinese and then translate it into another language and say, oh, that's like the whatever version. It doesn't work like that. What makes the spell work is the direct communication with the God of the lineage. The lineage God has to agree to it and accept it, and then seal that into the system. And from then on, that is going to work. That is what making the magic work. The real communication and agreement between the human and the God. Not your translation of the words. It's not the word that is magical. What's magical is the relationship and the agreement made between the human and the God. Okay? So right now, there's a lot of like China Taoism, right? Or other Taoism. They're like followers of whatever is left behind. So like they don't really have a connection with their God. Like they cannot communicate back and forth with their God for real. They just practice whatever is left behind, and that made it like like a one-way dead end kind of thing. Like you can keep practicing the old stuff, but you cannot really have anything new, and that's why you see people are like stuck with like their outfit and their etiquette and everything. They try to keep it as ancient and original as possible. And you know what that means? Okay, look, if our society right now, okay, we keep using things from 5,000 years ago, it's not going to work in our society, right? Things changes. It doesn't fit our world anymore. It doesn't work like that anymore. A live religion, a real religion, move with time. We advance with time. So the God should be able to communicate with the human being to make new development and changes to make it like suitable for the people today for doing stuff. Like let's say let's like just pretend, okay? Back in the old days, people have incense, and now it's like year 3055 or something, and no one makes incense in the world. No one makes it anymore. So you're like, oh my God, my religion is dead. I cannot burn incense anymore. right? That's purely stupid. It's not like that. The main point is the communication between the human and the God, right? Back in the old days, there were like religion that uses a campfire. They brew up a big fire and then they would talk to God while the fire is burning, right? That's their tradition. In today's society, will that even work? You try to make a fire at home, beep 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 beep, smoke alarm. Oh my God, I cannot have my religion anymore. I need to live outside in the wood. You are being crazy. That's not gonna work, right? So why don't you change the method, right? It's like back then we used to talk on the phone. Now we talk on Zoom. Okay, why not, right? Change the method. Well, yeah, of course you cannot change it because you don't have a real communication with your God, right? That's the problem. Okay, so our lineage is special because we have a direct and live communication channel with the gods above us that is teaching me every day. So things are being changed, developed, and adjusted every day. If we do something and it's like, for example, right? Let's pretend like the situation where we burn incense and suddenly, let's say, Canada, like where I live, do not allow incense anymore. Or maybe let's say my apartment don't allow me to burn things anymore. So I cannot burn incense, not even incense. Okay, so well, instead of saying, I'll just like go live in the wood, right? No, I will talk to the God and say, what's the substitute? And the God will say, okay, well, now we'll use an hourglass to represent incense. Well, done. Okay, you got a new solution that's fixed. Why not, right? So when the God is actually there, there's always a way to work around things because the world changed, right? So yeah, it's really cool, huh? Now you see, it's not like you must do it this way. You can do it in many ways as long as the God agrees. And we're opening that part up to everyone to contribute to build a a system that is not restricted to, just the Chinese, right? We don't want people to just think that Taoism, Taoist magic is about being Chinese or you have to learn to be Chinese. No, it's actually open up to any language. So that's our first step to open up Taoism and Taoist magic for everyone, which is like if you have the talent, the passion, and the time and energy to help to create the spells and things in another language, you can help us do so. And we can work together and make that become part of the system. And then you can learn the stuff in that native language that you're more comfortable with. That's fine. It's going to work the same way, right? The most important part is that God agrees that it's good. It could be done, right? And I am now proving to you that this is legit by showing you I can do this. Right? This is not something that you will see from any other sect out there. Especially like there are many sects out there, but they all just keep teaching the old stuff and expect everyone to like, you come in, you learn my stuff, and that's it. Like we're not changing. That's how my master does it. That's how my grandmaster does it. That's it. So it's like, yeah. The problem is, well, what I feel like is that people are stuck in the old times. Like they're not moving forward, right? So people are still trying to teach people the so-called Taoist magic in a way that they do in like the 60s or something like that. And that really bothers me. I mean, like, that method doesn't work anymore. What they do is they use some like illusionary tricks, like magic tricks, physics tricks, balancing tricks, and that kind of tricks, and then tell you, this is magic power. And then they make you like believe in that. That's like purely scamming, right? But yeah, like they make you believe that is magic. And then once you get started learning and get deeper, then they explain to you, this is like just a metaphor. Well, the thing is, you scammed me and lied to me when we first started. So how can I keep believing you? I don't like that kind of method, right? So when you come in, I tell you the truth right away. There's no scamming. It doesn't work for today's society anymore. Like in the ancient time when everyone is still a farmer, everyone don't have much education. You start with a little magic trick, make people happy, right? It's not a big problem, not a big deal. But in today's society, everyone is educated. We're not like fools, right? You can't use those trick us and then believe that we're going to be convinced by this thing that can be like replicated by anyone, and then you're like, oh, that's magic power. Right? That's not going to work. So to me, that's like total BS. So yeah, the way I teach, I like to tell you the truth. When you come into the lineage, anything I teach you, I'll tell you how it works for real, like how the real thing works, not like giving you illusion stuff, anything like that. I don't use outdated method that they use in the village back then to apply it to people out here. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so yeah, and then okay, one more thing before I end the show today is the food. Okay, you see the yellow paper, red text, and that kind of thing, right? The magical paper, the food, right? Okay, there are symbols that cannot be replaced by language because they are symbols, right? So symbols cannot be replaced, but there are words, right? Like we used to write the food with some Chinese word. Why can't you do it with English? Yeah, you can. Okay, so let me just like give you this heads up. Yeah, you have foods in other language as well. You can make that happen. There's no problem doing it as long as the God agrees. But then before you can actually do the English version, you need to understand the like the whole structure of food, like how it works, the like the basic grammar and how things are actually work. You need to learn the basic first, right? So I'll teach you guys the basic. And then from there, once you get to the point that you understand, then you can like, oh, can I change this part into my language? And yeah, you can do that. And then you can design a new part for that. And then like, it's like code in the programming language, right? You can swap out the code and then make it like, every part you slowly change it and it evolve into a new form that fits your language. And it's really cool. I mean, like, no one actually does that or offers this kind of opportunity in the world, and we are the first one in the world to make that happen. And I think that this is like our advantage because we are not restricted or bonded or limited by anything like government and things like that. So I am very happy that we have the freedom to do so while the actual live communication channel with the gods is open, and we can like make this happen. It's really a rare chance, and it's not like you can see it, all the time. I don't even see this happen like once in history so far. Like, yeah, there are people taking Chinese Taoist magic and bring it to Japan, and then they created their own thing, right? But that's not Taoism anymore. That's like another religion. But here is still Taoism. It's just that we open up the system to make it more like semi-open source system. Okay, so you can contribute if you do have the passion, and we need disciples with that passion. So if you are interested in this kind of thing, check out our website and stuff. You can read more about it. And if you want to learn, you can get initiated, which is free, or you can get ordained today and get started with this crazy cool experience. So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.